Breaking news coming in. Two men entered the Lok Sabha, the lower house of parliament, and opened tear gas canisters. In fact, we are being told they also jumped into the well shouting, but two men have now been caught by the police. This is the breaking news information coming in. It's a developing story from Parliament. Two men entered the Lok Sabha and opened tear gas canisters, as you can see on your screens. Visuals from the Lok Sabha as two men entered and opened tear gas canisters. We are being told from witness accounts that they also jumped into the well, further shouting, but the two men have now been caught by the police. My colleague Vasudha Venugopal is joining us with the breaking news information coming in. Vasudha, with such heavy security arrangements, it's baffling to hear this happen. What details can you report?
Of course, Parmeshwar, on the same day as we were also commemorating the anniversary of the horrific attack of that happened in the Parliament in 2001 on the 13th of December, what we see is a very serious security breach in the Lok Sabha around 1:02 p.m. when the Lok Sabha was, the proceedings were going on. Two young men were in the gallery and they jumped into those benches where the minister, where all MPs were sitting, and they also, they also had canisters from where they also let out some very foul-smelling yellow-colored gas. Of course, the Parliament security was informed, and they ran. The visuals show that the Parliament security ran after these men, and and then they were like, so they were running all over. So a lot of MPs have tweeted about it. Many of them have come outside and spoken about it. This is a very security breach. It's also a developing story. So we are tracking this very closely to understand who are these people. In a separate incident, outside the Parliament also, two people came and they sprayed the same kind of gas, and they protested, and they also, that also led to a little bit of violence, in which they spoke against the government and said that it was important to uphold the validity of the constitution, all that. So two incidents, but clearly this one thing that happened inside the Lok Sabha today, very serious breach in nature.
But even when someone is in the gallery, Vasudha, don't you need to clear some security? You need to clear some security to even enter the premises, right? Of course.
Only when a member of the Parliament or, somebody who works in the Parliament gives you permits you or gives you a pass, are you allowed to enter the Parliament? And there is a very strict system in place. It's not like any other public building or heritage building where you walk in with just an online system. There are security, security procedures that have to be followed at every step. Like as a journalist with a pass, I still have to go through at least 5 layers of security. So it's quite appalling how a person actually, an unauthorized person, not just one person, two people made it to the gallery, which is actually even more, it's considered even more high security. And, to go to the gallery, you have to deposit your phones, you have to go through additional 3 layers of security. It's quite appalling and bizarre, and quite, worrying that these two people made it to the galleries from where they actually jumped to the seats, to the benches where the MPs sit. So quite a scary thing for our public representatives, and quite, ironical and also incidental on the same day that we're talking about the importance of, security of our public representatives.
Thanks, Vasudha, for joining us with that update. We've also got my colleague Maria Shakil joining us in studio. Maria, a major security breach. Two people entered the Lok Sabha and opened tear gas canisters, as Vasudha Venugopal is reporting.
Yes, this is a security breach which is very serious in nature, and especially it's happening on December 13th, today, when the Parliament was attacked in 2001. We'll try and connect with some MPs who were present on the floor of the House when this, breach happened. It's a major security breach, as I just said. Two people entered the Lok Sabha and opened tear gas canisters. They also jumped into the well and they were shouting. What was the slogan that they were shouting? We'll try and connect with our reporters to get that detail. But they have been detained now. In fact, all the MPs have spoken to media outside, and these two men who jumped from the gallery, in fact, something that was hurled by them from which gas was emitting is what one of the MPs has said. They have been caught by the security of the Parliament. and they have been, and the House has now been adjourned. But the larger question certainly is that the day that has been chosen by them, the day that has been chosen is the day the Parliament was attacked in 2001.